didn't have a stable connection with you earlier, but as I was mentioning, extremely disturbing, heart-wrenching visuals have now come in of the Jawans who've lost their lives, of the truck driver, the vehicle driver, pardon me, who's lost his life in this IED blast. We've just heard the Deputy Chief Minister speak at this point in time, and he says that a timeline has been set for March 2026 to make Chhattisgarh and the regions around it completely free of Naxalism. How exactly do you see the government and the forces then working towards this particular promise, and what really could be the problems that they face?
Their demands, the government has to be in talks with them. There's been, if there could be a ceasefire in a state like Nagaland, where there was very bad insurgency. The insurgency is very different. The insurgents, the undergrounds are very different than the Maoists. And they are tackled by the Central Armed Police Force. And mostly the CRPF deals with them in Chhattisgarh. And so one is, yes, they can be in talks with the government regarding what their demands are. And the government can negotiate with them. Second, the security needs to be beefed up. Which security needs to be beefed up does not mean more manpower, additional manpower only. Security being beefed up means it should be that the intelligence network should be more. So that is very, very important again. So that's so these are the few factors which have to be kept in mind. And apart from that, while patrolling, whichever way you use, you don't come back by the same route. Whichever you don't follow a pattern. So there are certain things which the armed forces, it can be the CRPF, it can be the paramilitary, the police, whoever is in charge, looking after the Maoist problem over there. They have to be more proactive, but the intelligence network has to be strengthened further, Devika.
Absolutely. Major Shah, you're saying that the intelligence network has to be, of course, improved. But at the same time, like I said, what do you think are the major problems that the government is facing at this point in time in dealing with this situation? Why is it that they're not being able to perhaps strike up those talks and conversations that you've also mentioned, that they will have to continue being in talks? And do incidents like these now become an impediment in taking that conversation forward? Because we have at the end of the day lost 8 of our Jawans and also an innocent the driver of the vehicle. As far as the remaining Jawans are concerned, we don't have an update really at this point in time, but all our hopes and prayers are that at least they are stable. However, we do not know. The casualties could be higher as well. So, does it become a major impediment in really for the government to even take talks forward with the people who indulge in these sort of cowardly acts?
Of course, I mean, when people who indulge in these cowardly acts, I mean, getting talks forward is a very, very difficult thing to do. But again, one has to actually deal with it it's a very, very sensitive matter. So deal with it very, very sensitively and tactfully. Now, the fact is, if we don't nip it right now, where are we heading to then? Then these guys will have more to play, and they will keep ambushing our troops. They'll keep doing ID blasts. They'll keep... so best is engage them in a dialogue and let us find a middle path that something can come. But anyone who dares to look at the security forces in a bad way is going to bite. This much I can tell you. I can assure you. I can guarantee you that, because I've had the experience of the army as well and the paramilitary, the Assam Rifles. So I have seen both the lies, and I can tell you, anyone, it can be the Maoists, it can be the undergrounds, anyone who looks at the security forces with a napak nazrein is going to be dealt with an iron fist, 100% on that. So yes, but again I would say, why hasn't the dialogue happened so far? I don't know about all that. And if at all they've happened, where have they reached? But we cannot afford to lose our men. We can't. These Maoists, they had massacred a company of earlier. So this has been a trend with them. So we cannot give them more fodder to feed on. So the fact is, it has to be addressed. It has to be addressed quickly. It has to be addressed in the most tactical manner. And yes, as the Chief Minister said that we plan to make the state mayors free next time. Yes, so one has to also see what the problem is arising, and the security deployment. Well, what people will do is the simple thing is pump in more troops. But pumping in more troops would not only be the answer. There have to be more things which have to come into play. For example, I totally stress upon building intelligence. You have a very strong intelligence network. You come to know beforehand that they are planning this, that they are hiding there. Your operations are made easy. You don't do jungle bashing anymore. You work like it's like a race ka ghoda. A racehorse will run once in a year, but it will attain victory. Similarly, when you work on hard, you operate upon